the thing that has choked us is the weakness of inputting that data, whatever the original. Again, it was hand puppets and dioramas when I was back doing it back in the day, right? But no, nobody wanted to enter that data. That was the weak point. So you'd come back with ultimately business cards, and nobody was following. Not nobody, but very very few were following through on
Yeah.
a contact manager, getting the
You
rest of that data.
you know what else is interesting about that, Chris? What we've heard from so many exhibitors is that, in a lot of these cases where they're using legacy tool exhibitors using legacy tooling, yeah, sure, they'll get an email, they'll get a first name, a last name, a phone number, whatever. But all of that is almost meaningless without the context of the conversation, right? I could have whoever's email, but if I don't remember what we talked about or what we agreed upon or the next steps, it's almost useless. And then you times that times the 300 conversations that you have in a 3-day span where you're at a show. I mean, forget
Yeah,
about it, right? It's really, really hard to convert that stuff without the
yeah.
context. So
A business card is not a lead. It's a contact. Those 7 fields of
exactly.
information, it's contact information. Without what she's saying, the data, the capture, and the transfer of that really critical conversation. Can I ask? I want to go back for a second. So you said we record backwards. Is that where the layering on top of comes in? So really, your final product, you still have to record forward to be able to then look at it backwards, right? Is it just that, you I mean, there's no way you can start recording at the end first, right? But you can reorganize the data. So the most important stuff, you then kind of present it in the backtrack finish offering is is going back and leading with the Fortune 500 critical conversation rather than having to listen all the way through to get to the good stuff at the end. Am I right in assuming that's how it is?
Yeah, in a sense. So like what Hunter mentioned earlier, he did a good job of explaining it. But we will record and overwrite the information in the background. So we're kind of purring along in the background, kind of listening and overwriting. So whatever you're not saving, it's just automatically getting deleted in the 5-minute window, right? And then after that 5 minutes is up, if you go, oh, okay, that one with Chris, I want to save it. You just hit the go button in our app, and then we'll go back and actually then save it. But otherwise, it's held in what we call temporary storage, and then it gets deleted if you don't manually hit that go button.
And you were talking about these 5-minute loops, or Hunter was. What happens if the conversation's longer than 5 minutes? It's a 20-minute conversation. Do those 5-minute loops get synced together? How does that work?
Yeah. Well, right this second, the way that it works is you can actually go back up to 20 minutes. So it's the scale. If
Okay.
you go into the settings, you can set it to be 1 minute or 20 minutes. And we know that a lot of hosted buyer programs, they have these meetings. Shop Talk is one of the big ones. They have over 50,000 meetings over the course of 2 days. And they say, hey, look, we have a half-hour meeting. What are we going to do? And we typically say, look, we can go up to 20 minutes. Maybe we can make it longer in the future. But the last 20 minutes typically are the most important, especially the last minute or two, because that's what the next steps are. So as long as you're getting a good chunk of the conversation, that's better than what's happening now, which is nothing.
Yeah. And so is this in like a format where I'm just holding my phone next to me? Should I be wearing a mic? What does that look like in the physical space?
Yeah, we've seen folks do all sorts of things. So generally, what exhibitors do is if they're wearing like a jacket, they'll just I have my phone here. They just put their phone in their jacket right here, or they put it on their table stand in front of them. We've also had users who would get the little lanyard things that they put their phone in the sleeve and they walk around with that. Some people just hold them in their hands, so it's really up to personal preference. But generally, as long as it's within a few feet of you, you're good to go.
Okay. And how does it do with background noise? Like I'm imagining I'm at my booth, someone else is talking to the person next to them. Is it pretty good at just initiating with the people that are right in front of the phone?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And we have
sure.
not only does Apple have an amazing AI built into the phones already, which you're going to see a major upgrade in September, or maybe even sooner, but we have our own AI layer on top of it to help separate out the noise. Because as you guys know, when you go into one of those halls, it is full blown, concert like Ozzy Osbourne out there. It is so loud. So Jordan and I, to test it out, we would go to a grocery store that has basically no Wi-Fi, or no cell phone reception at all, and it's super loud. So we were testing it in environments just like it. So that also proves the point that it works offline as well. We know that Wi-Fi is not great on those showroom floors.
Yeah, Khalil,
Yeah.
we've done a lot of testing, what like Hunter's saying, whether it was the grocery store and us walking around looking like morons with the grocery store testing our app, or some folks from our team even went to concerts, right? To really put this thing through the ringer to see, yeah, is it going to be able to withstand the noise within the trade show floor? But fortunately, it's all good. A-okay.